Good morning, guys. Welcome back. Today we're playing with Zach's Toyota Tacoma. It's a crew cab long box variant, which on these means it has a 6-foot box instead of a 5-foot box. And Zach's truck needs a little height adjustment, so he has brought some brand new Falcon Wild Peaks that he's got mounted on some other rims, and he's got the Icon Add-A-Leaf set for the rear, and Bilstein 5100 struts for the front, shocks for the back. We're going to set those fronts up on the higher perch, bring the nose of the truck up a little bit, and so we're just getting started. Got it jacked up, got it on some stands, pulled the front tires off, and we're going to start disassembling things here. Drop that sway bar, the skid plate, get that stuff out of the way, and then start tearing things apart, get that strut out of there. So should be a good time. Hopefully it goes well and we don't end up fighting anything today. Time will tell. All right, just like in previous Tacoma lifts, undid the two lower ball joint bolts for the lower arm, swung that, then loosened the pivot bolts, swung the arm down out of the way, undid the lower strut bolt, undid the upper strut bolts, and actually the strut mounting cap was seized or stuck, rust stuck up into that tower. So just got the air hammer out, kind of drilled in there, and the thing finally popped down. So yeah, plugging away. Got to move around to the other side, get that side to the same point, and then got to make a call, see if we can go borrow a strut compressor and get the coil spring swapped over to the new struts. All right, so side number 2, got it blasted apart here. Same thing. Got the struts sitting here on the ground, ready to go. Gonna wait for my buddy John to get out of church. We're gonna run over to his place and use the strut compressor, see if we can swap those springs over onto the Bilsteins. In the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and get that back end jacked up and get the wheels off, get the shocks off, see if we can start working towards putting these Icon Add-A-Leafs in. I messed up. I think we messed up big time. So Zach and I got to chit-chatting as we were loading up stuff in the truck, and neither one of us shut the tailgate. We got all the way out to John's, and his original struts are in the back of the truck. The new Bilstein, surprisingly, in the boxes, which smooth, shiny gloss box, those were actually still in the bed. But the original rusty struts that we took out, which you think would have more biting edges and wouldn't roll around, those are missing. So now we're going back on a rescue mission, just praying that those struts rolled off the side of the road and didn't hurt anything or anybody. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of nervous. So there it is, right there. Whitney, I called Whitney and asked her if by chance she's seen the struts maybe at the end of our driveway, because our driveway kind of, as you're pulling out, you kind of go like slightly uphill as you're pulling out onto the road. And I thought, maybe I'd get lucky and the struts just fell out in my driveway, and they hadn't. And so she got in her vehicle and started driving towards me, and I was driving back towards her, and she found them both, thank God. So one of them wasn't too far from the house, and the other one is we just passed down the road from my house. So thank God for as bad as it could have been, because I mean, seriously guys, if that had hit somebody's car or a motorcyclist or God, who knows. So secure your loads, check your tailgates. I got extremely lucky today. Thank God for this chick right here.
Did you see where it's at?
I see it. Thank you. Holy crap.
Yikes.
I was legit nervous, scared.
Yeah, that's a big chunk of metal.
That's a big chunk of metal.
That would really hurt if somebody hit it.
Yeah, well, that's a, motorcyclist or car
yeah.
or anything, Go through a radiator or an oil pan, or that could severely mess up somebody's day.
Your tail got shut now.
Thanks, babe.
Thank you.
See ya. Get you a good woman, guys. I got lucky. Yeah. It's right there. The timing of the light, it all worked out perfect. Hallelujah. We got it back. Nobody was hurt. Crisis averted. So when you think you're working on Toyotas, but Dad shows up with his camper jack that came apart, he had to take a couple minute break from that. Helped him with that. Now we gotta get back to the Toyota. So we're back. We have the struts reassembled and ready to go back in. We are putting a small shim on the driver's side to help compensate for the Toyota lean. So Zach picked up this small shim that's going to go on top of the strut top mount before we bolt it up in there. So we get that bolted into place, get the suspension bolted back together. Again, like in my other projects, we're going to leave the lower control arm bushings and bolts loose and the upper control arm bolts loose until we have the truck back on its weight on the ground. Then we tighten the upper and lower control arm bolts so that the bushings are centered and we're not putting any undue stress on them. So we'll get working on that. Hopefully we get this front end put back together and then we can start playing with those addle leaves out back. All right, so we've got the struts reinstalled on the front on both sides. Still got our control arm bolts loose. Need to bolt the sway bar back up, so we're going to get in here and do that. The Bilstein 5100s are set for a max of a 2.5 inch lift, which does not require a differential drop. So we're not doing a differential drop on this truck. Just going to do the 2.5 inch lift with the Bilsteins, bolt the sway bar back up, and yeah, move on to the back. So the old man brought more problems. Apparently the Mustang alternator charging light's coming out, so I gotta see if we can test this out and figure out why. It's got a new voltage regulator, and he had the alternator tested. We're gonna do some testing quick and see if we can figure this out. So we got sidetracked with all the extra projects, and I didn't even film the addle leaf, but it's an addle leaf. You just undo the U-bolts, undo the shocks, pull the center pin out of the leaf spring, and yeah, put your new center pin in with your addle leaves and put it all back together. So we got that done. Truck's looking good. He put some 1.25" wheel spacers on it with a Falcon 255/80/17 tire. So it brings them out real close to flush with the body. And yeah, should work out good. But new Bilstein 5100s, the Icon addle leaf kit, U-bolts, everything's torqued up and tightened down and ready to go. So I'm gonna back her outside, see what she looks like in the sunshine. Wow, like that. So of course it looks squatty because he's got his old other tires in the back, but not a bad looking rig. Should be good.